So welcome to something that's very new and something we'll hope you enjoy not only tonight but also maybe a couple of more times before the end of the season. This is Ask Vincent Live, and you join us in the Etihad Stadium in a secret location that we've turned over to a studio to make sure that Vinny is whisked in and whisked out at the end of it. We are live on mcfc.co.uk, in City Square at the Etihad Stadium, also on Facebook onto the City, and also Vinny's own page, and on espn.co.uk as well. You've been sending in all your Twitter questions to the hashtag askvincent, and we have been filtering through them for quite some time to pick out the 11 best to ask the Manchester City captain here live for you now. But before we get underway with that, hi Vinny, you right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well done today. 5 points clear. Are you happy?
Yeah, buzzing. It's a great achievement. But I said it before in a couple of interviews I had after the game. You know, we've achieved nothing yet. So we're happy with the result, the victory, but we focus on the next game already. Very
good. Exactly what a Manchester City captain should be saying. But funnily enough, actually, you mentioned about the interviews. What have you been doing since the full-time whistle goes? We see you disappear down the tunnel, and then what happens?
Well, it can actually get quite hectic. I mean, you get taken by different people that want to pull you in different directions for interviews and stuff like this. And then you go into the dressing room, you have another chat with your teammates, you congratulate each other mostly when we play at the Etihad. And then up in the ice bath, which is the hard part actually of the day, and then shower, and then we're out and we meet our families.
So they're the first people you see. Families, make sure your wife Carla's here. You just make sure that they're all happy and that they thought you played well. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. We keep them happy, and then usually it goes well for us.
Brilliant. Well, we'll start on our 11 Twitter questions right here with this one from @Jasper_Remy. So thank you to Remy Jasper for sending this in. And actually, it ties in a little bit to what Vinny was saying just then. What are your responsibilities as captain? What specific duties do you have, not only on match day, I guess, but also on the other days that you have to, I guess, do all that extra work as the Manchester City skipper?
You know, I think, I don't really like to put it like this, but in a way you kind of have to be the right-hand man of the manager. But as well, you need to represent your teammates. And I guess when you play for this club at the moment and what we're doing and the way we play, I think the most important thing is to keep everybody focused and concentrated, because you know, we're all human beings and we can all fall into facility. And like today, for example, one of my roles is especially to make sure that if anybody needs you know, that it happens, but in a positive way, just to keep everybody sharp and focused. And I think the rest happens from itself because we have such a quality team.
Talking on the pitch is the subject of the next question, Vinny, and actually it comes from somebody's father. Thank you, mother in fact, Nicoline. Thank you to Nicoline at Nice LL514, and she says, my 8-year-old is a good footballer but doesn't talk with his teammates during a match. Can you please give him some advice? What do you say if it's not necessarily chastising the players? What is part of the conversation, and how much conversation can you actually have with your teammates during a match?
Well, okay, depending on the position, but I think that in modern football, if you want to achieve anything, you need to talk to your teammates. And that's the reason as well why it's called a team sport. And if you communicate with each other, if you have this relationship with the people you play with, then ultimately you become a better player. And as well, you will enjoy it more. I mean, I enjoy nothing more than to play here at City with Colo, Jolyon and Savage, because we talk a lot to each other and we're like brothers, you know, and you need that kind of relationship if you want to be better at what you're doing.
So it's not always just, come on lads. There is some tactical conversations. You're setting up the line of your defensive line. I mean, is it? Can you have conversations, or is it just shouting 5 seconds and then hope they heard you?
No. There's a lot of talking, even in the heat of the moment. There's a lot of talking between the players, and you'll be shouting man on, you know, left, right shoulder, left shoulder. And you give as much information as you can, and sometimes, you know, when there's too much information to give, then you just handle it yourself and you kind of resolve it. But I think talking is so important, and you'll find that the best players, especially the best defenders, will always be players that talk a lot and give information, because organization is what makes you a strong team.
You're watching Ask Vincent Live. Thank you for all your tweets. They're still coming in, and we'll looking at them as the evening progresses and trying to get one of yours on before we finish here. We're on espn.co.uk, mcfc.co.uk, on Facebook as well, on Vinny's page and on City's page, and live in City Square at the Etihad Stadium too. He talks about talking with your defensive colleagues. Today's game saw the changing of the fullbacks that we've seen quite a lot this season. It's kind of 2 in, 2 out quite a lot, and obviously if you're playing with different fullbacks, it's important the communication you have. So this one comes in from Ben Murphy, the Murphy _88. Zabaleta was great today. Kolarov even better, got man of the match. How important is it for City to have 4 top-class reliable fullbacks?
It's very important. Not just the fullbacks. I think every single position we have unbelievable cover, if you can even call it cover, because it's difficult to pick which one is the starting 11. But like you see today's performance of Zaba, and then you keep thinking of the fact that Micah is in form as well, and Clichy has been unbelievable. So now when Kolarov performs like this, I think it just makes us a stronger team. And the schedule is still going to be tough before the end of the season, and we need everybody to be fit. And if we keep it like this, then I think we're going to become even stronger as the season goes to its end.
Bit of a cheeky one next from Gemma Cook. Cook 1982 at Cook 1982. Thank you, Gemma, for this. Clearly, Vinny doesn't give up at any point. Clearly, his role as captain continues right until the end. What were you and Nigel de Jong having words about towards the end of the second half today?
Well, Gemma, I know Nigel for a very long time now, and we've played together now, I think, almost 6 years. And we're just both very hungry for the ball. And sometimes when, let's say, I have a kill, Nigel steals it from me and he comes and he takes the ball. So, but it's just because we're both so hungry for the ball that sometimes, we just end up taking each other's balls. But if that sounds right,
yes,
anyway.
So to speak.
I realize a little bit later. But anyway, is one of my longest and friends and teammates. I think we can say stuff like this to each other. So I was just saying to him, this is my ball. I'm going forward. You're going backwards. So you should leave it for me as I'm going forward. And he was saying, but I've come to help you. And then in the end, we just laughed and we shook hands and we went on with the game.
Love to think that there's time for that sort of a conversation. You can just imagine them stopping and going, no, it's mine, no, it's yours, no, it's mine. In the end, all was resolved. We'll move on to some other teammates now. Vinny, thank you to Rashiela Huja, which is at Rushy MCFC. Tell us more about the changing room atmosphere. You must get asked this all the time. How do you guys relax, have fun, joke around? And this, you can answer it straight away if you want, especially if it's you. Who is the funniest?
It's got to be Joe Hart.
Joe Hart's the funniest.
Yeah, hands down.
He's gonna be insufferable now you've said that.
Yeah, well, I've got to be honest in this, but there's a few contenders. Micah is definitely someone you'd like to be around if there's a good time to have, and then Jono, and there's just so many though. So we're a very methodical team when we're out on the pitch, but I think that in our free time we're a good bunch of lads and we're good friends, and that's what makes us, I think, a stronger team than we've been before.
The team spirit you have at City is going to be a vital part. If you do win the Premier League this season, you always need that, don't you? And yet you have to maintain that sort of team spirit on the field when things aren't going your way. What's been happening with City of late is that things have been going your way, but there were times today, for example, when it's 0-0 against a team who are defending, you need to retain that patience, which I suppose is inherent in team spirit. And we've got a question from Facebook, actually, and thanks to Matthew Mohawk Lindsay for this one. Does it annoy you when all the possession is in the midfield and attack like today, and does it get frustrating?
You know what? It's better like this in a way, and I must be honest. The games I've enjoyed the most is the ones where we've been under pressure, where it's been firing from all sorts of sides, and we're actually always on the verge of breaking down, but we're not, because we're strong and because we can handle it. But in games like this, I guess that you take your pleasure out of the fact that you keep the discipline, the organization in the team, and you're a bit more strategic to the team than you usually are influential, and that helps as well, and you get your satisfaction out of that. And I don't think we lost a challenge against a very good striker. I don't think we conceded the chance against a team that can score. We get our pleasure out of those things.
Samantha Sherlock has tweeted in, at Sam Sherlock87, running on from that conversation about striker Yakubu today. Do you ever wind up the opposing centre forward? If so, what do you say? And I'm sure you have many tactics, the likes of which you wouldn't necessarily want to reveal if strikers are watching. But it's part of the game, isn't it? Do you ever wind up the opposing centre forward?
No, it's a good question from Samantha, it was, yeah. I will say it like this. I have tried it before, and every single time I did it, I conceded. So I've not done it anymore because I'm always the loser in that thing. So I just think the way I try and scare the opponent is by, as I said it before, being methodical. You know, he wants to laugh, I don't laugh. You know, he wants to see if I have compassion, I don't have compassion, you know. So that's the way I try and be, and just show that there's nothing that can take me out of my game, and you know, when I'm on the pitch, I'm focused, I'm concentrated, and I don't want to make jokes. But now, if someone tries to put it on me, you know, then I can be a bit more mean. But I'm never gonna be the guy that's gonna laugh too much and make too many jokes because every single time I do that, I seem to concede. So, not for me.
You don't take the risk.
Not taking the risk now.
But that sounds a little bit like you have thought about it. Are there any mind games? Do you think that plays a part psychologically with the striker you're up against?
No, you know, in the end, you're either a good team or you're not. But I guess the difference is in the details. And you know, I do think of everything, and I have a feeling that if you show dominance and if you're self-confident, that's already a part of the job you need to fulfill. And it's the easiest part to do. So I definitely never like to give the feeling to the opponents that, you know, they're in for a free ride. It's not too much my attitude.
Yeah, I've noticed with the way you play, you make it a very early challenge. I know it's typical for a centre-back to do that. You'll try and make sure they know you're there. It's very important to at least have in the back of their mind, or literally around the back of their head, that you'll be there very quickly and they've got no time on the ball at all. Yeah,
you got to be careful though. You know, there's nothing more silly than to take an early card, but I like the physical side of the game as well. And if it's not mean, if it's not nasty, then I think you should definitely embrace it. And you know, there's enough strikers that are strong enough to give it back to you. So that's part of the game, no problem.
Just a couple more to go on Ask Vincent Live. Keep your tweets coming in. You might get yours asked to Vincent Kompany before we finish here. Hashtag Ask Vincent. Send those in. Got another one from Facebook here, and thanks to Alex Maidurov for sending this in. We've been talking about defending, and why not, considering Vincent's position. But today, says Alex, you had a great chance to score with a back heel. Did you ever want to be a forward?
I was a forward a little bit for a year when I just started playing football, but I guess from midfield I was scoring a lot of goals as well. But now talking about the back heel, I think it's better that I didn't score because
why? It would have been the best goal of your career, surely.
My teammates said it already after the game. They said we wouldn't have heard the end of it. And yeah, they're right. If I score a back heel like this, then you know I am gonna rub it in their faces.
I'm quite right too.
So for me, it's better I didn't score that goal, maybe.
No, for them, not for you.
Well, you know, don't want to get myself thinking that this can happen all the time. Either.
Okay, yeah, don't get too cocky. You have scored a few goals, particularly actually from that position, advancing towards the near post. I mean, that seems like a training ground move. You often get into that position, either a flick on or you scored against Liverpool, I remember, like that.
Yeah, shouldn't give it away too much though, but you vary. You know, you vary. Sometimes I go near post, sometimes I go back post. I just happen to be quite good at the near post, so when the balls are good, then usually it's a great position to be in. But you know, it's been lately every single ball I got on, the goalkeeper saved it. So, but you know, it'll fall for me.
Yeah, let's hope not for a back heel though, otherwise we won't hear the end of it. A couple more then, and let's go to City's Arabian fans here. And, it says here, you have so many fans in Abu Dhabi, understandable of course, the owner's from Abu Dhabi. When will you be back and will City play a match here, says a fan on City Arabia.
Well, I hope that I'll be back very soon because I like it there, I actually love it. But you know, other than that, if we have to arrange a game, I think that's up to the managers, not for me. But on holiday, definitely they might see me, you know, rather soon than late.
He'll be coming soon. The likelihood of Vincent getting a holiday before the end of May is very slim, of course. Two more, I think, and perhaps let's go to Peter Petru, who is at Cyprus Pete, who's tweeted in to ask you the kind of question I'm sure you've been asked loads before. So list me, please, your top 5 favourite things to do, hobbies, sports, interests or other. You're not allowed to say play football for Manchester City.
Well, I like to go to the cinema with my wife. You know, that's one of the things I like
Last
to do.
Last movie you saw?
The Goon? No. What's that?
Oh yeah, The Goon.
Man on the Ledge.
Man on the Ledge.
Man on the Ledge. Yeah, decent actually. Not bad. I would recommend that one. And
that's a whole other thing. We'll do film recommendations from you on another one.
You know, to be fair, to give 5 is difficult because you have that much focus on football. But then obviously main hobby will be, you know, spend time with my daughter, my family. And another one will be, I'm going to sound boring here, but reading books, yeah. I like
okay, no, that's good.
Yeah, don't like to say it too often though, but I do like it. And, you know, and other than that, just, you know, my charities as well, very important. You know, Vika and SOS Children Villages. So those are the main things that I like to do when I have a little bit of time off.
Reading books. I've had a conversation with Vinny before about politics, so you know that's again film recommendations. Maybe a chat about politics for the next Ask Vincent Live, should it happen. The Facebook question coming in from Buck Buckley is this: great performance today from all the lads. What is your most memorable game for City? I think you could narrow it down to a few.
Listen. Can I not mention the 6-1 that at
Can you
Old
not
Trafford,
mention? No, you can't not
Trafford.
mention it.
Can I not mention it, or can I not mention the 1-0 victory at Old Trafford against United as well? I think if you ask the United players as well, they will probably mention the games that they've won against us, and it's a great thing because there's such a great rivalry between us, and it makes those games the best games.
We'll finish with one from Jacob Megram, at Jacob Megram, and we're grateful for him for tweeting in to say, who is your childhood footballing hero, Vinny?
It used to be, I grew up watching the VCRs of Pele, but the guy that I saw playing while I was young was Marcel Desailly. I think you know, he had all the qualities that I liked in a player. He was physical, he was able to play as well from the back, he played midfield, played as a centre half as well, and he was a very clever player, so I have to say Marcel Desailly. And I won't mention Patrick Vieira because otherwise I won't hear the end of it from him.
Well, I tell you what, he's never backheeled in from the near post from a corner either.
No,
so
he hasn't.
Clearly you'll have one up on him if you manage to do that.
He's won a few trophies more than I have though, but you know.
You're still young.
Time to catch up, exactly. Yes. I told him. He showed me once after the FA Cup, he was always, you know, posing with, you know, the hand like this, and I was saying, what does that mean? He said, well, I've won 5 FA Cups. I said, all right, 1, I've got 1 now, so 4 to go, and then the 6th one, and I'll beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
So simple as that.
Well, I tell you what, it's good to have targets. Certainly on the horizon, and especially if you can make sure you can belittle somebody that you know very well. That's always important too, isn't it? It just remains for me to thank you for all your tweeted questions. Thank you very much indeed. They've been fantastic. So many to choose from. We could go on all night, but Vinny's dressed to go out and have a nice meal somewhere, and I don't want to keep him from his family any longer. So many thanks to you, and of course to Vincent as well. Vinny, it's been great. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank everyone as well for following and for the great you know, comments I leave on my Twitter, on my Facebook. Means a lot, and you know, we'll go towards some good times in the future, so it's good.
We'll keep them coming in. We'll keep looking at them, and he'll certainly appreciate them too. Thank you very much indeed, and will you thank Vincent Kompany for us as well.
Thank you very much.